Hi guys, I'm just going to cover what I've added into the Artist Paint Tools panel. Um, I've already got a couple of videos on this. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that cube. Right here I'm going to go ahead and just try to make this bigger so we can see it pretty well. Because I want to show it's all in here in the special setup macros. We already have the create brush maker scene, and that one was creating a top view camera in a separate scene, set it to 1K, and that was supposed to be so you can make like you can make a brush image by, say, making that beveled and then you would turn around and give that a material and black world. You turn around and render that, and you could then blur that, save that as an image, and load it as a brush. That's what that was about. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. But here we actually have something else going on. This one's called Refmaker scene. What this does is gives us another top view camera in another scene. And this is 1920 by 1080. And what this does is it allows us to import some images. So I'll go to my desktop, and I believe I had some Captain America, and I'm going to bring all of them in. Down here I'm going to not align because I don't want them side by side. I want them just all in one spot. I'm going to call them shadeless and import images as planes, and that's an add-on by itself. Import images as planes is a great add-on. Now we'll need to be in texture view, and what I'm going to do is here I'll start making put the references where I want them. And I'll go ahead and put them where they're going to make the most for me. And this is so I have something to render out. And what we'll do is, instead of hitting F12 and grabbing the sky color and having black or whatever, what I'm going to do is just go ahead and grab a snapshot. And the snapshot is like an OpenGL render. And we'll save it, save as image, and we'll go back to our Captain America. We're going to call this ref.001.png. And this is pretty important. You put the number there. We got that one. And then maybe I want something a little bit closer. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that one out of my way. This one. This one I want a little bit more. Like this, maybe. And this one I'm going to grab up on Z. A little bit in there. Maybe this one I want scaled up. And then we're going to do it again. Snapshot, image, save as, and then all we have to do is hit our plus sign. Okay, and then here I'm going to move that one out of the way. This one I want to maybe just make that one like this. Okay, and then we're going to do one more. Save as image, plus sign. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is go back into our regular scene. And we don't have to actually give up that Refmaker scene yet. We're just That's what we're working with as a way to make our references. And you'll see that now we have a sculpt view. And what we're going to do is first we're going to add our sculpt object. I'm going to add just a icosphere. And I actually need to limit that to solid view because the other ones I want in texture view. So I'm using my add-on that I've already made for going solid. It's basically the same thing you would do here, where you go to limit your maximum draw type per object. But I've got the pie. Since we've got this now, all I have to do is put a sculpt ref view, and that's going to put another 1920 by 1080 camera. You'll see it's in forward view. And we'll go to the view. And at this point, we are going to lock the camera. And we're going to bring it in. Maybe unlock the camera so we can zoom in as much as possible. I'm going to turn off the tool panel for a second. Get as much of a view as possible. And then we're going to lock it. With our selection, you'll also notice that now our lines are gone and we're able to move around. And that's because when we press this lock, it doesn't just lock the camera to view, but it also changes to render only. So just a little bit of a small convenience. Okay, then we need to bring in our background image. So here in the end panel, we're still using this. Add image to our camera, and we're going to open up in our Captain America. We're going to select our 3 images, and we're going to have to tell it 3 images to use, otherwise it won't work. Cyclic, auto, and that because it's cyclic, we don't have to worry about changing our frames because the 250 will just keep repeating. And just as a demonstration, let me just hit play, and that's not going to work for us, right? Because it's too fast. I could get a headache really quick. But what we've done here is this little button. Let me get back to render panel so you can see. Currently, our default is at 24 frames per second here in this file. And what we're going to do is press this action button, or I guess it's a movie button. It changes the frames per second to 1 frame divided by 12, so that's 0.08. And so a playback now would actually be slow. And so while we're doing that, I can go into sculpt mode, go to snake hook, turn on Dentopo, and then I can start actually working with the sculpture. I can turn off the end panel now since we're working in our area. And now that I'm actually working here, I can go about working on something and then playing through. Now these are changing up quite a bit, so maybe I decide, I don't want to play it. I'll go ahead and go back to the beginning and work from what I see here. Also, I believe the camera is also the change. It's set to 80 because that's a lot easier for viewing. It gives you a better depth. And I'm not really going to sit there and work on this very much. I just wanted to show you that this is workable. And if I take this back down the size that it normally is, then you can kind of get a feel for where we are here. Okay, and so that small little bit of addition gives me a little bit of something to work with. But this is 3D and it's not actually painting. And yes, I'm using the panel. But the nice thing too that I wanted to go over is that actually in our Refmaker scene, if we're working on I'm going to unlock that camera. So if I'm working on trying to line things up, these buttons here are actually very good for working with that. So say I'm working with some smaller images. And I want to compose something a little bit better. I might have them to where I want them across the top. I can select all of these 3, then press this top button, and the top edge is going to be lined up, and then we can get them all the way to the edge in here. Then maybe I've got it close, but I'm not sure about having it there, or maybe I want it to be to that one. So if I've got the first one selected, I select the next one I want it to measure up to. I'll go into the right, and it'll line it up on that right side. Or maybe I want it to center. Maybe I centered it to that one. Whoops. And then it's there. But that's, this is all depending on how you want to do it. You can get as intricate as you want with your references here, making them work and then bring them in. You'll see though that since I've got in the other scene, I've got this image set for my background, it's reading it back into this scene, which is fine. Okay, so the image is not, the camera's not locked now because I unlocked it before. So just lock it back up, and then you're back in there. Okay, now you can use your arrow keys to change the images as well, so you don't have to sit there and try to find the right button or anything. Okay, that covers these, and that's about it. The rest of the artist panel is pretty much done, but I may end up going over another video to cover the bulk of how to go about using it in normal use. I'm kind of itching to get back into just painting something for myself instead of working on just the coding side of it. But this has been a lot of fun, and I really appreciate all the help from Patrick. And Proxy has been helping out a little bit with inspiration, just talking every once in a while. And really appreciate all the guys that are out there doing the really big dev work, like Joshua Lung and Ideasman, and just about everybody out there. There's way too many names to name off, but this is really cool. It's really fun to learn. And anyway, if you got any comments, got any questions, please feel free to drop them along. Maybe subscribe to the channel. If you watch around, check out the stuff that comes out. Maybe make some suggestions. Maybe we can cover some stuff. I'm going to be trying to cover some other areas. So sculpting is going to come into play. I'm going to be working on some compositing stuff, and eventually, hopefully, maybe a little bit of the grease pencil, and maybe work on some grease pencil animation. All right, talk to you guys later. Thanks.